What's up, everybody? John Hoover from The Franchise. You might know by now, or you might not, but if you don't, my show, The Franchise Drive, from 6 to 8, weeknights on The Franchise, has been canceled. Our man Sam Mays is taking over the 6 o'clock hour. But fear not, I'm still writing every day for TheFranchiseOK.com, still co-hosting the Franchise Inside OU podcast with Brady Trantham, and every day throughout the week I'm going to be contributing to every show on The Franchise as a college football insider. What that means to you, dear YouTubers, is that I'll no longer be doing a nightly show recap here on the YouTube channel. So the new format here is going to be this. On Fridays, I'm going to recap my columns, the highlights from the week. I'm going to go over press conferences, give you sound bites from interviews. We'll talk about who said what on the podcast, what I wrote for Sporting News, and probably some other stuff as well. So let's get this thing started. And remember, you can find all my work at TheFranchiseOK.com. Last Saturday, I covered Oklahoma's 70-14 win over South Dakota. And, you know, like Lincoln Riley, like Alex Grinch, like Jalen Hurts, and all the rest, I came away from that game feeling that Oklahoma didn't play anywhere near its best. In fact, Lincoln Riley said there's a list a mile long of things the Sooners need to do better. Take a listen.
There were certainly a lot of positives from the other night, but there's still just a list a mile long of things that we have to get better at and needs to happen here quickly. And so the games, continue to reveal that. So, excited about the positives, but certainly focused on this first road challenge and our team needing to continue to take steps.
Sounds weird to complain after a 70-14 win, doesn't it? But there it is.
We got to be better. We got to be more crisp. We got to sharpen our things up. And I think that's what it is. I think that was evident. I think we just got to execute better as a whole, entire offense. Enough isn't enough. There come a point where we have bigger fish to fry. And South Dakota, they played great. They came and competed, but I think we have to be better if we're trying to play to our standard that we set for ourselves.
One very bright spot for the Sooners, Bookie Radley-Hiles. He got the Sooners' first 2 turnovers of the 2019 college football season. I know it's against an FCS opponent. I know it's South Dakota. Listen, this is huge for Alex Grinch's defense.
Yeah, he gives me a lot of freedom, honestly, but there's certain rules and regulations to play in that position, but for the most part, he gives me a lot of freedom to just use my instincts and just play football.
I know it came against a 1AA opponent, but the fact that he did it at all against any opponent, a hustle fumble and an interception return for a touchdown, it's absolutely massive, not just for Alex Grinch's defense, but for Bookie Radley-Hiles. This is how 5-star players are supposed to play.
What you hope is that it becomes infectious. It's something that we've seen in practice. I think the buy-in's been good in terms of the guys wanting to do it, but certainly you got to do it and perform on Saturday nights. And it was good to get 3. It was good to obviously have a scoring play on defense, and so that's a positive and something that's got to continue.
Oklahoma State also got an easy win when it beat up on McNeese 56-14. Remember, the Cowboys are breaking in a freshman quarterback, redshirt freshman Spencer Sanders, and for the second week in a row, he was absolutely terrific. Sanders did get plenty of help from his All-American receiver, Tylan Wallace, who caught 5 passes for 180 yards and 3 touchdowns on 5 catches. And these weren't typical Tylan Wallace catches either. He's been a deep ball, high point guy, but on these throws, he was catching short throws and sprinting through the McNeese defense for long touchdowns. Pretty impressive.
You asked the same question Gage did after the game. How come he never did that last year? And I said, I don't know. You need to ask him. But he's done it 3 times now, right, this year, and so it stood out more. He looks faster. Maybe he's faster. I know everybody talks about Dunn being a good coach. I'm not sure that he actually was involved in that part of it. I think there's some nature and ability, reflexes, and his ability to make a play was probably a big factor in that.
This week, OSU faces its toughest defense so far in 2019 when the Cowboys visit Tulsa.
One, financially, it's a good decision for both schools, in our opinion, what I was briefed on before we decided to go with it. It's a road game for us, but for Oklahoma State, essentially it's another home game. We have a lot of Oklahoma State people in the Tulsa area, and then even for Oklahoma City, you're 2 hours up the turnpike. And it's the same for Tulsa. So it makes sense for us to play. It's good for a lot of reasons, and so I just think it's a really quality game for both programs.
After absolutely withering in its opener at Michigan State, last week TU got on track by beating San Jose State 34-16. I'm telling you, TU's defense will flat out hit you, and Mike Gundy knows this.
Thought our defense again played tremendously well. Had a series in there where I think we had 5 or 6 different punts in a row, which is outstanding by them. D-line played well, linebackers played well, secondary played outstanding. So those are the things that you want to see them continue to improve and get better. So really pleased with the way they're playing right now. Our defensive coaches have done a really nice job of preparing them and schematically getting them in position, and the guys just going out and doing what they do.
Oklahoma State got some really bad news midweek. Boone Pickens died. In my column, I wrote that he was Oklahoma State's Prometheus, in that he took the fire that Les Miles had and he made it his own, and he changed the cowboy civilization with it. He gave OSU $70 million in 2003, and coming right behind the amazing renovation of Gallagher-Iba Arena, that really took OSU's facilities out of the dark ages. But then he comes back 3 years later and gives his alma mater $165 million, largest gift of its kind at the time. And that put Oklahoma State's facilities on par, football facilities for sure, on par with anybody in the country. Pickens gave OSU athletics more than $500 million, and in all he gave his school some $800 million. Beyond that, his generosity and his passion for OSU inspired countless others to reach into their pockets and give as well. What an unbelievable legacy. Oh yeah, I talked with Lincoln Riley on Monday about Baker Mayfield's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Lincoln said he's not worried about Baker. He said Baker's been down before. He pointed to the 2016 Ohio State game, and he said such a performance will absolutely fuel his former quarterback. Of that, I have no doubt. I also wrote a column this week about Oklahoma's defense and how it has now been 10 years since the Sooners had an All-American defensive lineman. Think about that. That's probably not going to change this year, but I do think that Neville Gallimore, Jalen Redmond, Ronnie Perkins, LaRon Stokes, and all those guys are playing at a level that's going to make a huge difference for the Oklahoma defense in 2019. Imagine Lincoln Riley's offense complemented by an impactful defensive line. Could make all the difference come January, no? And this morning I posted the latest Ask Hoover Q&A blog, and it was a fun one. A lot of really great questions by the readers. It's basically a Twitter mailbag where I answer your college football questions, or in the case of today, maybe your beard advice. If you do have questions and want to get in on it, just hit me up on Twitter at John E. Hoover, and I'll answer them in next week's blog. Again, you can find that and a whole lot more at thefranchiseok.com. Well, that is my week. Pretty busy, I know. I will be off to Chapman Stadium in the morning for OSU Tulsa. Kickoff is 2:30 tomorrow. But my man Brady Trantham is going to post another Inside OU pregame podcast before the Sooners kick off at UCLA about 5 o'clock p.m. We're going to dive into what we think needs to happen for OU to consider that game a success. Look for that podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. It's free to listen, but you can always subscribe or give us a 5-star rating. We'd appreciate it. Also, catch me every day, 107.7 in the Franchise in Oklahoma City, 107.9 in the Franchise Tulsa, also thefranchiseok.com for tons of free content, and take us with you on the free Franchise app. And last thing, I'd really love it if you like or comment down below, and if you subscribe and hit that notification bell, I'd love it even more. Thanks for watching. See you guys.